Believe in the power of change. This book is about the power of change and how believing in it will change your life. Most of us don't realize the power locked in small everyday actions and decisions, which is what the power of change can unlock. The power of change is a series of practical techniques designed to help those who struggle to make or accept changes to their lives they've resisted. Most of the time we know what to do to change: exercise more, meditate, read more, call a friend, write in a journal, but when it comes time to start, we resist. We suffer in silence, blame ourselves, and over time our dreams die. Do you want to change your life but struggle to find the will? Go find some change, hold it in your hand, and say aloud, "Change is within my grasp." Say it again, only this time try to visualize yourself achieving a goal, working out, getting the promotion, new romantic partner, and say it again and as many times as you want, visualizing success. It's okay if you didn't visualize or couldn't think of anything specific, it will come in time. Did you believe it? It's hard not to believe that change is within your grasp when it's literally true. Visualizing our accomplishments, while this might seem like a trivial, pointless exercise, slowly over time you will be shocked at how effective it is. Many of us bury our dreams and accept defeat before we even enter the ring. Self-help books don't factor our subconscious wiring holding us back, preventing us from accepting change. Believe in the Power of Change is a practical guide to accepting and making change and provides practical approach that process possible. The problem with change isn't not knowing what to do or not wanting to change. Too often we don't believe we're capable of making or accepting change. No matter where you are in life, no matter what has happened to you, change is always possible. Instead of worrying about all the ways you're not good enough, what if you could switch your perception to believing that things are going to get better? Finding change. Before we delve too deeply into the nitty-gritty, it's worth addressing the resistance you may be feeling. "Oh, this is stupid. Won't really work. What's the point?" may be rattling through your head. For a lot of people, these defensive walls have been erected for survival, avoiding pain, and have been in place their whole lives. Don't get discouraged. This book and technique is designed to work with the hopeless. The power of change is not a magic bullet or spell that will change your life overnight. Our desire to simply change things overnight not only is impractical and unrealistic, but blocks us from actually achieving our goals. We all want to change our lives, but so many of us feel like we're not good enough and change is impossible. What's hard for most of us isn't knowing what to do, but how to do it, and more importantly, how to commit. People telling you to just believe in yourself don't take into account that your brain is often not a willing participant. When trying to overcome obstacles and improve your life, it's easy to fall into traps of hopelessness, frustration, despair, or apathy. That's why if you simply focus on changing one step at a time, it will be much more believable. So many of us fear change so much that we won't even let ourselves try. We become so overwhelmed by our problems that we give up on trying to fix them before change becomes this big bad monster hiding under the bed that we avoid our whole lives. Hopelessness is not a small burden. In fact, at its worst, it can be fatal. If you had told me these things years ago, before I discovered the power of change for myself, I'd have thought something along the lines of maybe for you, but I've tried and failed, and it's hopeless. Change doesn't come easy. There is no mystic retreat, self-help book, or seminar, rousing speech that will solve your problems overnight. The power of change is not a one-size-fits-all quick fix scheme. Real long-lasting problems and challenges can't be overcome with simply believing some marketing speech nonsense. I wish there was a way to simply change overnight, but that'd be a lie. There are enough people lying to you already. Patience is a difficult thing to swallow when you're unhappy and is often confused. It doesn't mean passively waiting. It means focusing on effort and incremental growth instead of the binary success or failure. You're not going to will your way to a better, healthier life without really confronting your deeply rooted personal issues, trauma, and limiting beliefs. You have to believe that it's really worth the effort and possible, which it is. Wanting over now is going to make it seem impossible and ironically make it last a lifetime. The only real change that means anything takes consistent work and unfortunately time. Don't let this discourage you. The power of change can give you the motivation you need to stay on the path. Confronting pain is not enjoyable, so it's understandable why many get frustrated and ignore it. When dealt with head-on instead of sweeping it under the rug, it no longer becomes so scary. So many of us are overwhelmed by the burden of expectations that we end up sabotaging ourselves by subconsciously blocking it out and refusing to try. You don't have to be a rocket scientist or pay Tony Robbins thousands of dollars to set out on the path to achieving the changes you want for your life. You're building belief with a system offering practical solutions to build the skills that make that building belief possible. The power of change is a practical evidence-based practice that does not require you believe in yourself, be optimistic, judge yourself, or offer you some BS vision of success that won't actually make you happy or content with life. You're going to discover that change is completely possible for everyone, no matter where you are in life. The power of change isn't a magic pill, it's a practical system that anyone can apply. It's a process that systematically builds the confidence and belief that you may never have known you had. It's not going to come easy. But if you believe that it's possible and remain consistent, it will come. Believing change is possible. Faith is something that people don't like to talk about because of religious connotations, but it's simply belief. People falsely assume that logic is somehow the underlying fabric of the universe and that the laws of nature don't care about your faith. In one sense, that statement is completely true, completely ignores the unbelievable power to alter their reality for better or worse, all within their own mind. Many people who believe that words like belief and faith are nonsense don't even realize the beliefs they have are already changing their life. Regardless of what exactly it is you believe, both positive and negative emotions can be triggered by how you choose to interpret reality. If you can be honest with yourself, admit that no matter what you believe, that you have the power to alter your reality by what you believe, then maybe you can see that the power of change might not be so crazy after all. There isn't faith or belief in the power of change required, only the practice of it. It's good if you believe that change isn't possible. At least you're being honest about what you really believe. If so, why do you think that? What do you already believe that contradicts that it's possible? Maybe negative things about yourself or others. It doesn't matter what we believe. We have to accept that beliefs are powerful influences on the mind and our attitudes about ourselves and the world. Positive beliefs and negative beliefs alike are powerful tools that change our existence. Being honest with yourself as well, that you can choose to accept beliefs, whether true or false, and change your mind. Opening your mind to the possibility that change is actually possible doesn't mean you're Superman. Believing that change is actually achievable may be the one thing holding you back from obtaining the changes you want. Given that's pretty hard to argue, given the mountain of supporting evidence, wouldn't that mean if you magically had a different set of beliefs, that you'd feel differently about the world? That maybe, just maybe, if you could somehow have more positive beliefs that it's possible, we would feel better about ourselves and the world. Unleash the power of change. That is the power of change, and it's as real as anything in this world. You don't have to believe in magic. You don't even have to have a positive attitude or even think change is possible to acknowledge the influence that our underlying beliefs have. So wouldn't it be amazing if we could change our beliefs for the better and improve our health, stress, well-being, and feel better about ourselves? That is a glimpse into the power of change. I will show you a set of evidence-based, result-oriented approach to having the power to change your beliefs and change your life. I was as cynical and jaded as anyone, but slowly over time the system works for everyone. If you've tried and failed due to a lack of belief or willpower, don't despair. The power of change can help guide you. If you've been overweight, it's not going to be as easy as saying you can do it. Calorie in, calorie out, bro. To fully commit to years of a diet and exercise routine. Powering through inner resistance and not caving requires a ton of dedication and focus. It's difficult to force ourselves to change. We are sold endless possibilities. You can be anything you want to be. Advertisers want to sell you the short-term feeling of inspiration, but how long is that feeling going to last? This motivational porn leaves us unprepared for the reality that change is long and takes time and patience. Authors and marketers are happy to see us stuck in a pattern of failure if they can keep us as customers. Focusing our attention is a superpower waiting to unlock all the motivation we need. With a mind focused on what we want and believing it is possible, it's possible to unlock an inner reserve of willpower and motivation. Having a system helps to make all of the difference. No superhuman ambition or willpower required. As long as you trust in a system and follow it, you don't have to rely on willpower. Following the power of change will adjust the lens through which you see the world towards direction you want to be. Anyone can practice simple daily techniques that help belief and motivation. Using this simple, seemingly humorous system laid out in this book, you can build the skills and willpower. If you can convince yourself to believe you're capable, the willpower and motivation will follow. Fighting for change. We need to be able to examine and understand the source of our feelings so they don't end up controlling us. Self-sabotage is one of many subconscious obstacles that lingers inside us unnoticed. Recognizing this built-in failure mechanism is crucial for long-lasting success in achieving our goals. There is a constant battle inside most of us to overcome these self-sabotaging feelings, even after we've achieved our goals. Our feelings affect our nervous system that make us physically feel anxious, depressed, and exhausted as well. Over time, these invisible feelings will subtly change our minds for us without us even realizing it. Pop psychology tells us all we have to do is put mind over matter and power through, which is why we're fatter and lazier than ever. We can't simply just ignore our feelings, we have to acknowledge them. Ignoring our feelings manifests in all sorts of bad ways, buried under the surface. Instead of going away, the feelings rattle around in the background like a trapped animal, a constant drain on our energy and willpower. Our feelings guide us in ways that can be beneficial for us as well. The power of change. For the sake of this exercise, imagine that the change is like a battery and you are letting the power flow through you. The change in your hand is lending you power, the power of belief. You want change, you're holding change. If you feel weird or embarrassed about saying this stuff aloud, go out to a field if you have to. By connecting your body, mind, and spirit to the commitment of change, focused and present. Are you ready for the change you need to become reality? You only need a penny to change your whole life. Think about the change you want. Hold an image in your mind. Then, holding on to your change, say aloud, hold your change, and if it helps get you in the zone, squeeze as hard as you can and say, I have change in the palm of my hand, change is within my grasp. Think about those changes you want and try and picture yourself in your mind. Take a second to really think concretely about it and try to form a picture in your mind. If you can see them, stay with them, feel them, imagine it were real. This might be kind of weird and difficult at first, but start small. You can visualize yourself just doing your chores, eating lunch, brushing your teeth, then maybe throw in something bigger like visualizing checking your bank account with twice the amount. Squeeze the coin for every single vision and desire that pops in your head. Walk around in your new house, check out your fit body in the mirror and the big effortless smile on your face staring back at you. It may feel weird, scary, or even painful to dream for some. Change takes time and effort. Remember that you're just stating a fact as well. You're holding on to change and you have the power to make change, literally. Don't let go of that coin until you can think of at least one thing you want to improve. Dare to dream as wild and amazing as you can and say aloud, change is within my grasp. I hold the power to make change in my life. That is your mantra and a practical system for generating belief. Saying it aloud and meaning it while holding change, making the statement change is within my grasp true, will be linked to visualizing achieving the change you want for your life. Once you start your fist in the air grasping that change until you feel like you're ready to explode with optimism and joy, and your dreams aren't only possible, they're already coming true. Change will become achievable. There is a hidden map of mental mastery hidden within the power of change. Can you feel it? The power of change has already begun. Even if you just sat there rolling your eyes ignoring everything I said above. Even for the most hardened cynic, a tiny seed of hope may have already entered into your mind that you have the power to bring all that change, joy, and positivity into your want in your life. Close your eyes and fully feel the change with all of your senses. Let the limitless opportunities and wildest fantasies flow through you again like a warm golden ray of sunshine, filling you with positivity and peace. Everything is going to get a lot better. Change has entered your mind, heart, and spirit already. All the bitterness, cynicism, despair, hate, anger, and negativity in the world are no match for the power of change. Unlocking the secret of this mental mastery will train you to make your brain function on a higher frequency and provide you the personal development skill set and knowledge to transform your life. So now you've taken the first step. Congratulations. Let's review. Grab some change. Take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and imagine some change you want to make in your life for the positive and achieving it. That weight loss, that new relationship, that new job, overcoming depression, getting sober, all are possible. Yes. If you don't believe me, ask yourself this. Is it possible for humans to cultivate willpower? Yes. Does willpower increase the ability to create change and sustain it? Yes. Will the power of change, regardless of how silly it may seem, work 100% at helping you to find change? Yes. The power of change is a practical system that offers a counter to lack of commitment, motivation, and dedication that holds us back from achieving the change we want. What do we call change that we carry with us at all times? What better reminder than an object of the same name that we interact with constantly? The one thing guaranteed anyone can have, or at least find on the ground, at least 1 penny. So how the heck is talking to myself while holding some change going to do? The power of change begins with priming your mind. Your mind is unbelievably complicated and powerful too, that hold not only your thoughts but your underlying beliefs, emotions, and worldview on a deep level. Fortunately for you, it's possible to literally change your mind, known as neuroplasticity, and that's how you're going to change your life. We can't simply ignore these feelings because they are so powerful and deeply ingrained. This psychic defense mechanism of self-defeat and laziness was actually a useful survival tool. If we pushed ourselves to exhaustion chasing every last whim and idea, we'd be in serious trouble. The decisions we choose not to make may be just as important as the ones we do. Confronting our inner roadblocks for some of us will be a challenge we face our entire lives. Studies say fear of change is one of the most common fears people have. If you're interested in making change in your life, reach into your pocket, sofa cushion, coin purse, or change dish, grab some coins. Unfortunately for us in modern times, fear works against us far more than it saves us. Most of us don't have to worry about conserving energy to stay alive anymore, quite the opposite. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Viktor Frankl. Like a death in the family or losing your health or mobility, change is often dumped in our laps and we're forced to scramble and adapt against our will. We are forced to change our attitude. Change is hard to come by. It's so easy to get caught up with useless details and drudgeries in life, especially since the year-plus lockdown from the COVID-19 plague. Change isn't something that all of a sudden comes out of nowhere. You have to seek it out and accept it. If you never pay attention to it, change will come and go and you will have let change pass through your fingertips. You have to go out and find change, which requires hard work and taking action. For some people, maybe this advice may seem obvious. Who wouldn't want to improve their life and feel better? It's simpler for some to just set a goal than do the work. If that's you, that means you're ready for the next step, but plenty of people aren't. You might not relate, but maybe if you go deeper, you'll find some change you're afraid to accept. Change takes hard work to obtain. Even with a digital army of influencers cheering you on to live your level 10 best life, it's all gonna amount to nothing if you sit on your ass and stare at your phone or computer waiting for the bluebird of happiness to come flying in your window. You can soak up all the motivational vibes and knowledge you want. Nothing's gonna change from watching a course or reading. Many of these internet motivational cheerleaders would tell you as well, because they know how hard it is to make change and hold on to it. What they most likely won't tell you to do is stop watching and start focusing on your own life goals and dreams. You would think that learning all the answers would have cleared things up, but the opposite can be true. Trying to satisfy my desire for change and improvement with knowledge without acting on it can make you feel even less empowered to seek out change. The non-stop stream of internet best life hack advice tells you it's all about yoga, exercise, fad diets, mindfulness, mindset, hustle. It all starts to bleed together and just another thing to feel guilty about not doing. I need to diet, meditate, be grateful, etc., and so many of us procrastinate and do nothing. Them seem even more invisible, unattainable, and you feel powerless. Maybe you've been conditioned your whole life not to want things for yourself. Maybe your friends or family made you feel like you're undeserving, or you've already accepted that change will never happen. I'm here to tell you that if you are committed and serious, you will unlock a life of beauty, meaning, and purpose you never even could have imagined. Not from some mystical healing crystal, not some pie-in-the-sky secret, but real, lasting, constant change through dedication over time. You have no idea the unbelievable opportunities that await you if only learn to truly ask with your mind, heart, and spirit. Can I please have some change? How to accept change? Most people don't know how to take change even when it's offered. They just let it pass in and out of their grasp without a second thought. It's so sad to see people complain about their problems, meanwhile right in front of them in their very pocket is the change they seek. So all of this must sound pretty idealistic and pie in the sky. That's simply because you've been conditioned by society to be broken spiritually and suppress your inner greatness. Who are you to take the reins of your life instead of mindlessly falling into place of being trapped in a job or life you never wanted? So how crazy is accepting the power of change is real? As crazy as spending the past 5, 10, 20 years of your life waiting and wishing for the bluebird of happiness to come flying into your window and solve your problems. No matter where we're at in life, chances are there are things we want to change about our lives. Sometimes we have to struggle to find the change. You want to know what's really unbelievable? Try admitting to yourself the painful reality for far too many people. you'll never do what you want to do and that you're going to waste the rest of your life half-assed chasing down goals you never care about or accomplish. If you listen to what any jackass on the internet tells you, you won't know what is true. People will just parrot along whatever misleading headline they skimmed as complete truth. Most of our thoughts are just inconsequential automatic reactionary thoughts. That doesn't have to be the case. Change is very possible, and closer than you might think. Chapter 4: Beg for Change. Ain't too proud to beg is the way you gotta start thinking. Pride never did anybody any favors. The idea of lowering yourself to beg may seem insane and would violate your image of who you think you are, or maybe who you thought you were supposed to be. Forget it. What's 1 hour of your life compared to years down the drain? It's uncomfortable, but discomfort, especially deliberate discomfort, is transformative. Discomfort is going to occur in your life no matter what. Begging implies a certain level of humility. It's a move of desperation, and most people don't want to admit how desperate they really are to get the change they want in their life. Including me, before I realized I really was desperate and how badly I needed change. The first ask of change will hinge on the prospect of getting your customer to notice you and then convincing them however you can that you are deserving of change. Treating your request for change as a sales transaction will help you get over the initial shame and embarrassment you may feel your first time begging, on top of increasing your chances of success. Ready to start begging? Say "I beg for change" out loud. And again. And with gusto. And be proud. Then think about it. That's who you are for the next hour. You are literally begging to anyone or thing who can hear you. You are someone who begs for change. Begging for change is like any other sales transaction. You have to convince someone to give you money. Unlike a product or service, begging isn't an appeal to want or need, but to compassion, altruism, and emotion. More change is right around the corner. In fountains, in random jars, in the vacuum, there is change all around us at all times we missed out on and we never captured and seized it. Are you ready to make change? From change? When you see the opportunity for change down, you pass it by. When there's 15 or 20 cents on the ground by the cash register due, you think. Oh, you never or do. You think that every moment in life is an opportunity to make meaningful, impactful, and fundamentally profound life-altering change that will provide you the security, comfort, and stability for an amazing life filled with love and opportunities. Pick up the change and embrace the change. Testimonial from homeless to Bitcoin millionaire. I was hit by a bicycle running a red light, sent me flying through the air and crashing down onto the pavement. When I came to, I felt a warm, wet feeling on the back of my head and discovered it was gushing blood and couldn't move my body. A nice woman screamed on seeing my bloody, crumpled up body on the sidewalk and called 911. I was brought to the hospital where my head was stitched up and then x-rayed. Good news and bad news. I remember the doctor's emotionless words vividly. Concussion, 3 broken bones and fractures in my lower lumbars, but he seemed to think that there was a good chance of recovery with a surgery. Surgery? I was barely making rent after loans and bills. This was going to be a rough call. I decided to the least amount of operation, which only ended up clearing out what little savings I had and an additional $60,000. All that really mattered is that I was able to hobble out of the hospital, and I did. So I was stuck in bed, waiting for unemployment with no direction, and could barely make it up the stairs. I laid in bed and cried, not even bothering to wipe the tears. I was scared. I didn't know what to do with my life. I needed change. I sobbed for the loss of my old life and the fear of the new one in front of me. All I had to my name was $7.87 at that time, not enough to take out of an ATM and way too little to pay off my massive debt. I wanted to get out of the house and get something to eat, but didn't even have enough for the dollar menu. It had finally come to this. I was going to have to start begging for change. I decided to beg. I only needed a few bucks to get something to eat. I figured better than sitting around my apartment I was about to lose. I swallowed my pride, and using my newly hobbled status and cane, I figured, what the hell? At this point I had nothing to lose, so if someone does see me, so be it, and maybe they'd give me some change. I sat down in front of McDonald's and laid my head on the ground. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had hit rock bottom. Little did I know at the time that this was the beginning of the best chapter of my life. I half-heartedly mumbled change a few times as people looked away from me, pretending I didn't exist. I figured at least one person with a quarter was all I needed. A lady carrying a coffee and bagel seemed to look at me with pity. She put her bags down and started reaching for a dollar bill. I felt embarrassed. I mumbled, "Thanks, have a nice day." A few months ago I would have tried to ask for her number. Now I'm on the street begging for a quarter to get a cheeseburger. She doubled back around. Would you like me to buy you a whole meal? I swallowed. My gut and my brain were in a war. My stupid pride and ego were crying at the thought of being bought lunch until my stomach started growling. Do you want? I'll run in and grab it for you. $1 cheeseburger. The lady laughed. Okay, I'll be back. I sat there in disbelief of where my life ended up. I wondered where I was going next. Part of me hoped she would offer to take me in and nurse me back to health like a broken baby bird. I got you $1 cheeseburger. And a full meal. That's when it hit me. I just needed to start asking for change. I didn't need money. I needed change. Lots and lots of change. I knew that change was the reminder I needed to get my shit together, not dollars. I needed to change my whole life, not just get McDonald's. I went to sleep excited to wake up in the morning to start my new goal of change. It was insane. How the hell was begging for quarters is going to change my life? I decided to say fuck it and give it a shot. I had nothing better to do. No jobs were getting back to me. I had hit my lowest of the low and knew everything could only go up from here. Even if that meant hitting the streets and begging. That 1 hour sitting on the pavement hustling my way to another cheeseburger, I came to the realization that I should just completely stop caring about being in debt. There was no debtor's prison. What's the worst they could do to me? I didn't even have enough money for a cell phone plan for bill collectors to call anymore. All of my distractions were gone. I had no phone, no internet, no way to get in touch with my friends, no girlfriend, nothing to get in my way. I had gone a little insane, as you may be thinking. My attitude about begging for change started to transform self-pity and into joy. Hobbled up on the floor, I smiled and waved, asking spare some change. I didn't care if they gave me quarters. In my mind, I was just begging everybody, God, the universe, and myself to please change my crappy life. After being cooped up inside, sitting outside all day was actually kind of nice. People were being nice to me, and one day I made about $30 in an afternoon. Sometimes I would turn down dollars and ask for change, and people would laugh and walk away. Then I got a realization. Maybe if people wouldn't give me change, then I could make change. When someone handed me $1, I offered them back 50 cents. Here's your change, I said back. They laughed and walked away. I'd ask them again if they had change, and one day I offered someone $1 for 75 cents. They looked at me like a crazy homeless person and walked away. I was very entertained with myself. Other people passing by would overhear and join in on the laughter and hand me dollars. By the end of the second day, I had made $80 and 3 boxes of food after taxes, gas and lunch. That was more than I made at my first job. What the hell had just happened? I started to feel guilty that I was taking money that people would give to me that they could be giving to the real homeless. I could always eat a free meal or two with my mom and had a roof over my head, so it was wrong of me to take people's money if they thought I was homeless. I swallowed my pride and cast aside my greed and decided to walk around until I found a homeless guy or two and give away my cash. I still had about $20 in change, a full belly, and felt great that I had given the homeless $60. I had never given away that much in my whole life. What the hell was happening? I felt better than I'd felt in years. With my pockets jingling with change, I wandered back to my folks' house. It felt like my hobble had sped up as well. The power of change, I thought. Why was I ever chasing dollars when I should have been chasing cents? I had nothing. I had no expectations. All I wanted was a cheeseburger, and now I felt better than I had in years. I decided that I really didn't need all of that change, so I decided to put $10 of it in my bank account. Wow, I thought. More money than I've had in my bank account in months. I headed over to eBay and see maybe I could reward myself with something cool for under $1 to keep my little change game going with myself. I didn't know what the hell a cryptocurrency was, but I saw it there. Bitcoin, I thought. Change coin. Sounds about right. I didn't have a real big need any of the money I was making anyway, so why not buy some wacky computer coin for 0.79? Little did I know that my $10 investment would be worth over $125,000 a few years down the road. I told you life gets crazy when you embrace the power of change. After a month or two of begging for change, I had made over $1,000 and kept $300 of it. Giving away the $700 was by far my favorite part. Making a few people's day was one of the best parts of that time in my life. A local nonprofit saw what I was doing to help the homeless and offered me a decent job, more money than I was making before. Soon I was back on my feet. I had gotten another job, but things were different now. I didn't care about what I did for a living as long as I was making change. I kept buying Bitcoin until I had about 500 Bitcoins and slowly forgot about them. Easy come, easy go, as they say. I had started making enough money to where I forgot about the struggle, the horrible feelings that made me beg for change in life and on the streets. After getting back on my feet, new job, new apartment, and a few months, I felt back in my old pattern and felt powerless again. I stared at my coffee table feeling depressed. Then it hit me. My eyes darted to the change on the table. Quarters. What the hell was I thinking? Had I traded in the beauty of the majestic quarter for the pointless hamster wheel of despair of the dollar? I opened my laptop and decided to see what those stupid computer coins are up to. Holy shit, $6. What the fuck, I have $3,000 off of some measly change? I decided to buy a few more. These things keep shooting up. Sometimes in life, stupid decisions like buying computer coins pay off big and make you look like a genius. You probably can figure out the rest. Soon down the line, I quit my job and started traveling the world and find that life I had always been wishing about. I had asked for change, and by damn, I had received it. I decided to pursue my real life's purpose, sharing the power of change. I figured if I could go from begging for change to living the life I always wanted, I could help other people too. Sharing the power of change with thousands of people has been the honor of a lifetime. I am so humbled to be of service to you, dear reader, and hope that these words can open the door to the power of change for you. So what's the moral of the story? Beg for change. You will get all the change you want and then some. That's what the power of change can do for you. Begging for change exercise. Why must we beg? Begging for change is not for the small amounts of money you may or may not make. The single most important part of the first exercise is to experience the negative emotions and struggle of lowering yourself to sitting on the street begging for change. For some people, seeking out an experience that's as foreign to them as begging might just seem silly or not worth their time. What's sillier or a bigger waste of time than waiting around for change to happen to you when you could be out there begging for it? When you beg for change, people may think you only mean quarters and dimes. That's far from the case. You beg for change because you long for the power to change your life and accomplish your dreams. Who doesn't want to accomplish their dreams? Do you understand why the power to change your life comes from the simple experience of humbling yourself and simply asking for what you want in life? Like so many of us, I wanted things in life, but I never voiced them or pursued them. I was scared. I didn't want to put myself out there, and which is why the power of change was so transformative and effective for me and over 10,000 people I've shared the power of change with and gave them the power to transform their lives. You can wash your hands, but you can never take back an opportunity. Where is change? In you. You have it with you all the time. Learn the secret's mastery of continual change. Bless thine change. While there are so many amazing opportunities, these are the questions that will change your life. Ask and I shall receive. How to get change. Wear a suit/classy outfit. Do you have any change? Hand out. Do you have the ability to make change? Offer dollar bill. Ask for more change. Hand out. Ask them if they have any extra, please. Offer riddle, joke, or performance. For many of us, there comes a point where the opportunities for change come in and out of our lives. Embrace change. Be the change you want to see in the world. Let change be a source of strength. Do kettlebells with your change bucket. Like so many of us, I wanted things in life, but I never voiced them or pursued them. I was scared. I didn't want to put myself out there, and which is why the power of change was so transformative and effective for me and over 10,000 people I've shared the power of change with and gave them the power to transform their lives. You can wash your hands, but you can never take back an opportunity. Where is change? In you. You have it with you all the time. Learn the secret's mastery of continual change. Bless thine change. While there are so many amazing opportunities, these are the questions that will change your life. Ask and I shall receive. How to get change. Wear a suit/classy outfit. Do you have any change? Hand out. Do you have the ability to make change? Offer dollar bill. Ask for more change. Hand out. Ask them if they have any extra, please. Offer riddle, joke, or performance. For many of us, there comes a point where the opportunities for change come in and out of our lives. Embrace change. Be the change you want to see in the world. Let change be a source of strength. Do kettlebells with your change bucket.